Did you know there's a law in Europe so strict that it forced one of the world's biggest companies to change its entire approach to business? In 2018, the European Union introduced the General Data Protection Regulation, or GDPR, and it turned Meta's world upside down. This one law, designed to protect users' privacy, led to a complete overhaul of Meta's data practices, massive fines, and global changes for how data is collected online. Stick around to find out why GDPR is called the most powerful privacy law in the world, and how it reshaped Meta and tech as we know it. Welcome to Bizarre Regs, where we explore some of the most surprising laws that impact the biggest companies out there. So what exactly is GDPR? The General Data Protection Regulation is a law created by the European Union to protect user privacy by regulating how companies like Meta collect, store, and use data. Think of it as a digital privacy watchdog, but with serious teeth. Any company, no matter where it's based, must follow GDPR if it collects data from users in Europe. That means even a US-based giant like Meta had to change how it operates for its European audience. And really, for everyone else too. The goal was simple: give users control over their data and make companies more transparent. GDPR took effect in 2018, and right away, Meta faced big challenges. To comply, Meta had to give users more options to control their data, like the ability to download their own data or even request to have it deleted. But perhaps the biggest change? Meta now has to get explicit consent from users before collecting any personal data. You may have noticed those pop-ups asking for permission to track your data on websites and apps. And yes, GDPR is the reason behind that. Failure to follow these rules means massive fines, and Meta wasn't spared. In fact, by 2022, Meta had already been fined hundreds of millions of euros for GDPR violations. Here's a bizarre fact: GDPR fines are not small. They're calculated based on a company's global revenue, meaning fines can reach up to 4% of a company's entire earnings. For Meta, that could mean billions. And because these fines can be issued for each violation, Meta faces ongoing scrutiny from European regulators. For instance, in 2021, Meta was fined $225 million by Ireland's Data Protection Commission over how it handled WhatsApp user data, one of the largest GDPR fines ever. But GDPR hasn't just impacted Meta financially, it's changed the way the entire internet operates. The regulation essentially made it impossible for companies to collect data without permission, which meant a huge hit to Meta's ad revenue. Meta relies on detailed data to target ads, and without that level of insight, advertising became more challenging. Plus, GDPR has inspired similar privacy laws worldwide, like the California Consumer Privacy Act, or CCPA, which was clearly influenced by GDPR. Countries all over the globe have started to adopt their own versions of privacy laws, forcing Meta to rethink its data strategy on a global scale. With such high stakes, Meta has often found itself in a tricky position. It wants to follow the rules, but the restrictions are impacting its business. Some critics argue that GDPR creates more barriers than benefits, while others applaud it for protecting users. For Meta, this regulation led to big changes, and the GDPR conversation isn't over yet. The European Union is already considering even stricter regulations in the near future. So Meta is in a constant game of catch-up, balancing user data, advertising revenue, and regulatory compliance. So, what does this mean for the future of Meta and data privacy? GDPR has shown that people care about their digital rights, and it's forced companies to take user privacy seriously. As privacy awareness grows, it's likely that we'll see even more regulations aimed at protecting data. For Meta, this means an ongoing challenge, navigating the world's privacy laws and keeping its business model intact. One thing's for sure: GDPR has set a precedent, and the world of online data will never be the same. Thanks for watching. If you thought GDPR was strict, wait until you hear about some other wild laws tech companies have to deal with. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more strange regulations and tech industry secrets. Got a bizarre law from your country? Drop it in the comments below, and we might feature it in a future video. This is Bizarre Regs, where we keep the world weird, one law at a time. See you next time.